All right, Jeep family, happy 4th of July. Hope that you guys had a safe and wonderful experience and you got an opportunity to go out and use your Jeeps, whether it was off-road or on-road. If you were in a parade this past weekend or you're yet to go, we hope that you have a wonderful time and make yourself and other people happy with this very cool vehicle and community that we have. So we are off today and we're out enjoying time with our own families and our Jeeps. So we hope that that you can enjoy this segment anyways, and we'll be doing some interviews from the recent Bantam 2022 where we had the opportunity to sit down and interview a couple guys from Northwest Jeepcast, Gary and Gary, and Wayne from Miracles Are Pink. So again, happy 4th of July, America, and hope you have a safe and wonderful celebration. Until then, Jeep on. All right, folks, as promised, we are here at Bantam Heritage Festival, and we have a great opportunity to talk to industry professionals and partners. And this is one of those times where I have Wayne of Miracles Are Pink, but really Wayne is only just a small part of the puzzle. Ron is really the star of the show. We're fortunate that he is here with us, but I guess Wayne will do some talking as well. So we have talked in the past about Miracles Are Pink.
Yeah.
We've been industry friends and have a long-running game for like 5 years at least. So that game, if you are unfamiliar, we both have a propensity to wear fun, reasonably high socks. You got to have fun with what we do, right? And so we have a long-running game where one of us catches the other one, slightly unprepared.
Right.
And I think we're tied at the moment because you got me at Dayton.
And you got me yesterday.
And I got you yesterday. And we unfortunately have picture proof of both of those occurrences. So maybe if we're skilled enough, we'll insert that into the video. So Wayne, do you want to tell me about Miracles Are Pink?
So Miracles Are Pink was started in 2015. My older sister, Chris, got diagnosed with breast cancer for the second time.
Oh.
After she had battled the first time, she had always made the comment about having a pink Jeep. So me and my sister, Cindy, went and bought a 1994 YJ. I didn't know anything about Jeeps, basically lots of YouTube videos and talking to people. But we transformed the YJ into Miracles Are Pink, and that's how it started. That was the name of the Jeep.
So did Chris get to experience the YJ?
Right. So for the last 8 months, she was here and she got to do a couple events and parades, and we took her to Survivor Day at her treatment center in Kankakee, Illinois. Okay. So she got to experience the beginning of it.
That's cool.
Before she passed away, I had promised her that I would keep it going. I had no idea how I was going to do it or what I was going to do moving forward. I just knew I was going to have the Jeep out there and share her story with others.
Sure.
Since then, we've bought a 2009 JKU. We built that. Now we have 2 Jeeps. We started a nonprofit foundation. What we do with our foundation is we send care packages all over the United States to different people, not only battling breast cancer, but just cancer in general. I mean, just small goodies with a t-shirt, lanyard, koozie, boxing gloves. Just something to let them know that there's people actually out there that do care and support them in the fight that they're for their life with cancer.
Yeah, that's so amazing. And do you ever have an opportunity to follow up with those people at all, or how do people get involved? How do you pick, where the care package is going to go? Or...
A lot of them come from doing events like this. People that walk up to my booth. My mom's battling, my sister, my aunt. Those are the kind of people I will give a care package to and not take any money, because that's truly what it's about. Me is to support the warrior that's battling cancer.
Yeah.
As far as following up with people, there's a few that I've followed up with. Some come back every year and see us at the events we're at.
Yeah.
To let us know how their loved one's doing, or if they passed away, or no, they beat it. I mean, the stories you hear in a weekend really tear you up, I can tell you that much.
Right.
I mean, there's sad stories, but there's happy stories, but that's all part of it, is sharing our story and listening to theirs.
Yeah, for sure. I have an aunt who passed of breast cancer, and of course with my family we have battled it. It's devastating to those who have to go through it.
Right.
So I'm sure that those people, even just a small token, just knowing that people are thinking about them, people are pulling for them, I'm certain makes a huge difference.
Right. I just try and tell everybody that I'm sharing my sister's smile and pass it on to the next warrior that's battling.
That's cool. That's cool. So, talk Jeep specifically. Was the YJ a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder?
The YJ is the 4.0. It's
Okay.
the 6,
So that's the
inline
6-cylinder.
6.
Okay.
We have it on a 3.5-inch skyjacker lift. It's on 35s, running 373 gears. My sisters drove that Jeep pretty much to events that are within 7 or 8 hours.
So Cindy's driving that Jeep specifically.
Yes, right.
It's not here today, though, right?
It is not here this
See, that's
weekend.
actually, I mean, your Jeep is okay, but
Right.
the YJ is really my passion. That's cool. My first Jeep was a YJ.
Okay.
So I gravitate to that one specifically.
Right. And the YJ's got a special place in my heart just because Chris was in that Jeep and got to see what it became. So
Sure.
that Jeep will be with me forever.
That's cool. That's cool. And where is the YJ at this weekend?
The YJ's just at Cindy's in the garage sleeping right now.
Right.
We decided this year we were just going to bring the JK. We brought my dad with us this weekend. This is his first Jeep show, so
Ron's joining us, which is awesome, right?
It was good to have us all in the same vehicle coming here. Just
So, when for people, us, I mean, we are Simpson Family Jeeps. People think that maybe my parents or family started it. They didn't. I did, but it was something that I wanted to do so that I could share with my parents. I mean, they were a great inspiration, and they allowed me to do what we do. And so it's such an important piece to include our family while we have them in any way, shape, or form.
For sure.
To keep them part of the process,
Yep, definitely take advantage of the time you have with your family because none of us never know.
Yeah, and your organization, I mean, is just a testament to that, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So the 08 JKU, it's a JKU.
Right.
So those of you who are unfamiliar, it's beautiful. It's got an amazing wrap job. You have a number of sponsors or industry businesses you need to recognize with that, or?
Yeah. So the biggest partner I have is Quake LED. When I started doing the circuit, I met them in Daytona 6 years ago, and I've kind of followed them on the road. They let me set up with them, sell my product, and then of course I display all their lights on my Jeep. Also, I have DS18 for my sound system. Alberto, and from Miami, I took it to headquarters. I was contacted through them probably 4 years ago. And I drove the Jeep out to Miami and had the sound system installed out there.
That's cool.
And then Canati Tires has been our tire sponsor for the last 4 years on both Jeeps. So
that's awesome. Those of you who have not experienced the Jeep, and it stands out. It's hard not to experience it, but it's beautiful. It's big. It's typically at the Quake booth. It is there this weekend. So if you're seeing any coverage, if you're looking for other coverage elsewhere. Bantam, it's typically with the Quake booth. Pretty much any show, it's typically with Quake, right?
Yes, sir.
And it has been to SEMA.
Yeah, I went to SEMA in
18 or 19?
Because when didn't they have it? 20?
20.
So I was there in 2019 with DS18.
Okay.
I drove the Jeep all the way out to SEMA from Illinois. It was a great trip, a long drive, but I mean, I've never been to the west coast of that part of the country.
Right.
It was truly an experience to do SEMA. If you've never been, it's a great experience just to go for one time and to have my vehicle on the show. That just was icing on the cake.
Yeah, for sure. And again, a great testament to Chris and what she started, really.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm just the middleman.
That's right. The messenger. You know what I mean?
Sir.
To keep her story alive, and that's really the biggest thing we can ask for. Gears in it, axles.
So the front axle, I'm running the Fusion Hybrid 60/44 axle.
Okay.
I'm running 538 gears. All my arms are System 7, metal cloak springs, Adams drive shafts.
Nice.
Iron Cross automotive fender flares, Crawltech bumpers. My wheels. That's bad. Let me think about that for a second.
That's okay. I mean, it's a gnarly build, to say the least.
Right.
So
and I'm thankful for everybody that stepped up and helped us out throughout the years. And I mean, just the people you meet in the Jeep industry, I mean, they've been nothing but welcoming to us for the last 6 years, and I'm truly thankful for everybody we've got to meet, including you, Neil.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've appreciated our relationship, our fun. It just makes the experience such an extension of the Jeep life. You know what I mean?
It does.
You can have fun with what we do. You don't have to be
Right.
It's a very serious or delicate subject,
And it is.
and we can still make the best of it.
Right.
You know, and do it with Jeeps, which is like the best part of the Jeep life. So
It is for sure.
that's very cool. Is there anything else you want to just share or say, or how can
Just-
people follow you? How can people contact you if they're watching? If you haven't seen any of our interviews in the past, we've done some, but Instagram, Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook is Miracles Are Pink. We do have a website, www.miraclesarepink.com. That has Chris's entire story on it and plenty of pictures of her when she was here with the Jeep. Kind of a little memoir, I guess, if you would say. And just carrying her message, you know, to support the ones you love, because you just never know.
Cool.
And take advantage of that time you got.
That's right. And with the time, how many more shows do you have this summer or in the near future?
As far as this summer, I'm not sure how many shows we're going to do. For those that don't know, we lost my mom this past January. So my focus has kind of changed, that I'm more focused on my dad right now to take advantage of the time I have with him. Those of you that know me personally know that Miracles Are Pink is my passion and it's never going anywhere. But I guess maybe it's kind of on hold for a little bit.
That's right. But the rest of us can pick up the ball and carry it, right?
That's right. I mean, I might do a couple shows as a spectator and do things from that side of things to be able to actually go enjoy the show with my dad.
Sure.
Instead of sitting in a booth all weekend. Those of you that have been know. I mean, it's a job. You come to the show, you're here at 7 o'clock in the morning. Last night we didn't get back to the hotel till 10:30.
Yep.
I mean, everybody that thinks it's joyous traveling the Jeep shirt. I mean, do we have fun? Yes, we do.
That's right.
But it is a lot of work, and it really is.
The one that always gets me is, it must be nice.
Right.
Oh, it must be nice. I'm like, well, it's work. It is nice, but
Right.
it's work. You know,
and it is.
I don't pull a lever every day, or you
Right.
know, have to sit down and write manuscript, but it's still work. You know,
Yeah.
so. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you doing this, and
Well, thank you,
we'll have it
Neil.
on our podcast in the near future, or short on YouTube or something to that effect. And best of luck this weekend and the summer. And Ron, I'm glad you joined us and be part of the Jeep world.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, for sure. As promised, folks, we are doing interviews here at Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival 2022, and it is my distinct pleasure to sit down with these gentlemen here who pulled into town a couple days ago, right?
We did.
And Gary and Gary.
Gary and Gary. Super
Now-
easy to remember.
Super easy to remember, and I have a lot of respect for you guys because, interestingly enough, you are my favorite entertainment podcast. So I was
Get
waiting
outta
to dump
here.
that one on you guys.
Get out of here.
I was. So if I'm going to sit down,
You figured us out with this clown.
if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to listen to a podcast,
Yeah.
you're going to be one of my top 3.
Wow.
Period.
Wow, man. Thank you.
Yes.
you.
Yes.
What?
So I knew you guys were actually coming across the country.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Which podcast is this that you're talking about?
Northwest Jeepcast.
Oh, the Northwest Jeepcast. Man,
Oh,
you know-
the which one? Okay.
Oh, it's the podcast all about Jeeps.
Yes, it is. and the live sound effects, transitions.
You like those, huh?
I do.
Yep.
I do.
Most of those are live.
Well, so you say.
We
I
do
have my
very-
doubts.
We do very little post processing. I mean, come
Okay.
on, you have to have you can't have doubts about it, because if you listen to the whole thing, you can see how many mistakes make it onto the show. Right? Like
Yeah.
there is no cutting room floor.
Okay. Okay. So, well, the problem is, see, our sound technician and producer, the Italian stallion, Jeffrey Schermonte there.
Nice.
If you're
love
unfamiliar with
that name.
him, oh
I
yeah,
love
the
that
Italian
name.
stallion. There's actually footage of him at his wedding doing like these dance moves.
Right.
We have like Italian
That's
flag
Soldier
hat.
Boy right there.
Oh,
you crank
that
it.
Soldier Boy.
Crank
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Soldier
yeah,
Boy
yeah.
now. Woo.
So he does all of these pre-recorded sound effects for us. They are the industry's worst transitions. And,
I thought he was a pro.
and
Wait a second. The man's right here. You couldn't wait for him to
I will
come
never say something behind anybody's back I wouldn't say to their face. I wouldn't. I
That's
wouldn't.
so funny.
That's true.
That's all
Is it true?
That's
It's
all
true.
He tells me all the time how horrible.
And
He keeps you around.
it is awesome. It is
Well,
awesome.
he charges the
because-
right. He has the right rate.
That's what's right.
He keeps him around because he has the right rate.
Yes. They are good. They are timely. They're appropriate. They're fun.
Yeah.
But they're not live, right?
Yeah.
But he does a very good job. So I actually knew you guys were coming across the country. In
Yeah.
the back of my brain, I was like, cool. I would love to talk to you guys.
You
I'd
should
love-
have reached out with them. We could have like
Yeah.
scheduled some time and do
Oh,
something.
that would
but-
require too much organization and forethought.
We just happened to crash into you.
Yeah, we just
Literally-
have
No, no, no. You parked your Jeep.
Oh
We're
my
literally
gosh, that's so
parked
funny.
near us. So
Yeah.
can you tell us in a succinct version, because I listened to like an hour and 45 minutes of you talking about moving across the country, or not moving, but driving.
Driving.
Can you tell us in a succinct version how you got here to Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival?
All right, well, I better do the short version because if we let Gary knows everything about the path, but all right, you heard him. He said succinct.
You better go for it.
No way, dude. I don't know it. You know
You
it.
don't know it. You mean
No.
how or why?
No. He said he wants to know the steps along the way, right? You
The
want to know
path,
what we're
the
doing?
actual
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we actually
And
had the
then-
opportunity
and
to see
after.
them, there was a very cool shirt that you have.
Yeah.
And you're driving across the country,
Right.
and there's a nice map that you have of destinations.
So walk through the destinations.
Well, so the goal was to get to Bantam, and then we decided if we're going to Bantam, we might want to wheel some because it's kind of dumb to drive 2,700 miles.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
Your goal, and that's really cool, folks, and is that your goal was to get to Bantam Jeep
Yeah,
Heritage Festival.
This 60-day trip was geared around this event.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's
The dates, like this had a date,
Yep.
and we're like, how many days
Yes.
do we need to leave?
right.
And we made a couple of stops on the way because we're like, all right, we can afford a couple of days before,
Yes.
and then everything else is after.
We had two fixed dates.
Yeah.
We had Bantam, which was the original goal, and then for family, we have a 4th of July. We got to be in
Right.
northern Wisconsin for
Right.
a big reunion.
That's right.
So everything got kind of relative to that.
So, and the last piece, it's important to me. I've been doing this event professionally for a decade now,
Wow.
and
Wow.
yeah, you don't. This spot, and as poor as I am, you don't get to hear. It's just I just outlasted everybody else. Is really what it comes down to.
I know. I'm sure there's some skill involved. There must be.
But a lot of people, as the show has ebbed and flowed, it is a very authentic and a great show, and it attracts awesome people like yourselves to be like, hey, I need, even though I'm, I don't know, a gajillion states away, we need to prioritize this. So that's really what I'm asking. So 60 days on the road.
It turned into a 60-day. Like in the beginning, it was to get to Bantam,
Okay.
and then you're going to spend 2,700 road miles. You might want to wheel. So then there were bucket lists. So
Sure.
we knew about Roush. Like, oh, we got to do Roush. Then we
Yes.
learned about AOAA, and we're like, oh, what the heck? Those are 20 miles apart.
Yep.
So we're going to go do AOA, then Roush.
And you haven't done them yet.
We have not done them.
Okay, fantastic.
We're lined up. We've got Dave from AOA we're going to be doing an interview with, and Bernie from Roush.
Okay.
It's been really good. Like all the places we're going, everybody's like welcoming and just like you guys. So we're heading off to there, and then one of the guys here from Bantam, Mike Gudis, he's been bugging us for 4 or 5 years to come out. So he tells us, well, you guys are going. Then Uwari. Who doesn't
Yep.
know about Uwari, right?
Right.
We're like, we should go do Uwari. It's not that far away from Pennsylvania, right? It's all relative, man.
It's
all
relative.
relative.
It's relative
Yeah.
when you're West Coast to the
Right,
East
right.
Coast. You're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm already east of the Mississippi.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if we're east of the Mississippi, we might as well do everything.
Might
east
as
of
well
the
do
We got
everything
asked- no,
right.
on the
yeah,
coast.
A friend of ours asked us. He said, "Could you guys get here like in a day or 2 days?" And we're like, "Well, it was more than 50 hours on the road, so no."
Yeah, right?
When you're talking about going to Uwari, you're like talking like 8 hours or something from Roush. I'm
Sure.
like, well, that's no problem. I mean, we do those all the time out west. So
Sure.
to us, it wasn't a big deal. So and then Mike's like, "There's a really cool place called Burning Rock, and it's in West Virginia. You should do that." And we're looking at that. That's not too far out of the way. So then we put Burning Rock in, right?
Yes.
And then going to Uwari, and it's really cool. Like everywhere we go, listeners are with us, man. We have like trail ride signups. They're all with us. They're all signing up. They're bringing us beer and food. It's actually pretty cool, right?
Yes.
So like when we get down to Uwari, the guides for Jeep Jamboree USA, their listeners, they have like these are ex-military, they're vets. They have a whole operation thing all printed out. Emergency.
You wouldn't believe this operations plan. I mean, it is
It's an
like
operations
it's-
plan.
It's
Full
exactly
ops
what
plan, man,
he
for like
even
military.
said. Hey, like with my military background, I got to write you an ops plan, and it is like point by point by point everything that's going to be happening. I'm sure we're going to be on time there.
Oh, we'll
Yeah.
be on time. I mean, they got it all mapped out exactly.
boy.
You know, your
Yeah.
GPS
Oh, boy.
coordinates.
So
GPS
your bathroom
coordinates.
your bathroom breaks are
Yeah, yeah.
scheduled.
I think so.
Yeah.
You got 5 minutes for chow hall.
I am
Yeah.
not allowed to take 91 seconds for a pee break.
Oh,
90 seconds.
90
tops.
seconds.
And I won't have time to shake at the end, right?
No.
It's just pee and be done, and then boom, I gotta
Pee,
zip
put
it
it
up.
back in, go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there won't even be time.
So anyway, these guys, you know, they reached out, they coordinate everything, and they actually guide the Jeep Jamboree USA down there. So they're like, wow, we got these trials dialed in. We're like, well, ride with you. We don't even know where the hell they're at, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that was cool. We've got a listener who just retired from Jeep from Michigan who's going to join us in AOA, and he asked if he could join us for like AOA, Roush, Burning Rock, Uwari, and then on to Windrock.
He's gonna basically be a brother by the time.
He's like
Yeah.
a big brother. He's going
He's
like
adopted at that
He's
point.
there.
Three
At that,
weeks,
at
you
that
know,
point, he's
whatever.
part of the family.
Yes.
So Jerry's
Yes.
cool, and he's joining us. So now you figured it out. We're going to Windrock. We're like, well, you're turning west. What's directly in your path? Windrock. The place is great. Let's go there.
So wait a second. Did you produce that guy's name? Are we on that level? Are we allowed to say who this
Jerry.
is?
Yeah, Jerry.
Jerry.
Last name?
I don't remember his last name.
Huber?
He does not like his last name, Sherry.
No, yeah. Oh, that's
Okay,
right. No,
that's
he
fine.
doesn't want
Well,
Right.
because Jerry,
Yeah.
we actually have a similar Jerry, retired from Jeep, blah, blah, blah.
He drove the trucks and parts and everything.
Okay. I don't think it's the same guy. That's
Okay.
okay. But
Right.
I thought and he's from the Toledo, Michigan area,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just super solid. So,
No, it wouldn't surprise me if stuff like that happens, right? I mean, like we have listeners, and of course we have shared listeners, right?
Sure.
I mean, like people are out there.
These
They're
are all
looking,
junkies.
they're looking for Jeep content, and people are gonna go find the great Jeep content.
yeah,
You guys get asked to
absolutely.
produce every day.
What's
I bet
that?
you do. We have listeners that are mad because we don't do 5 shows or 7 shows a
Oh,
week.
sure.
Yeah, they can't get
Yeah,
enough.
or the one that we expect. Is that really? The one that we did was we play these goofy little games, and we put them all. We cut them down so they could be like one piece that you could watch.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, I see you have time to make these games all day, and we're like, I can't get my Jeep into the shop, but you have time to make games.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, this content we've already made. We've just cut it. Or one guy called us out. Oh, see, reruns are a thing again. I was like,
See,
Yeah,
so
you can't please
sometimes
them
you
all
can't
the
you
time.
can't please them all, and I
That's
just don't
okay.
get it when people complain about free content.
nah,
It's like, come
it's
on,
all
man.
in good.
You
It's
pay
all in
for
good
it.
fun.
You
You get what you pay for. You get what you pay
Yeah,
for.
so anyway, man, so we'll be, actually we have a cabin down at Windrock, because we're like, after camping and stuff, I think it's pretty hot and muggy in Tennessee. I think maybe we'll get the air-conditioned cabin, right?
Nice.
Then my wife was supposed to be on this segment, but she bailed on us. Probably because we stopped. Oh, we went to Toledo and got the whole Jeep factory tour too.
Did you? Outstanding.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
glad
it
that you got that done.
It
Because
was incredible.
you're gonna be on your return trip by TJF at that point, Toledo Jeep Fest.
We're gonna be. I think we're gone. It was just one too many things.
Yeah, it's in
So,
August. It's,
so anyway,
second
we
week
did
of
stop
August.
at Toledo, and we got the media tour. It was really cool. We've got a lot of film that'll be coming out into the summer or in the fall. And
Dude, get this. They let us onto the factory floor.
That's cool.
Like, we are this far away from the Jeep
Yeah.
and the person working on it.
Wow.
Like, the senior manager of the plant is walking us through the conveyor, and, like, we're darting in and out of workers as they're grabbing parts and putting it on the Jeep. But the footage is going to be unbelievable. I can't wait to look at it all and produce up a good video.
They let you do
But-
footage?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. We got a camera in.
A number of our employees have done a couple of those, because they're just auto enthusiasts, right?
Yeah.
So we have these employees, they're up doing like the GM plants, the Ford plants,
Yeah.
and a lot of times they're not letting you do footage right
No,
there,
well,
so-
they started with a presentation, giving us
Yeah.
like whole background of the whole thing, and
he's filming it, by the way.
I'm filming the whole thing. I was like, hey, can I film your presentation? So I film the presentation, and at one point in the presentation it says, no cameras or video allowed in the plant.
Yes.
And he reads that, right? Like he's got his script.
yeah.
He's got his
He's
thing.
doing
He's
a
like,
script, he
he's
just
like,
does it.
No video, no. And then he realizes when he's done saying it that what he just said. He goes, oh well, except for you guys. You guys can do it.
You guys have a waiver. You have a waiver.
That's awesome.
It was really funny because it's like he had his thing going, right?
Yes.
Like,
Right,
He
right.
knew his cadence of what to say, and then it dawned on him like, oh, Well, you guys could take video.
Yeah, well, that's a rule for everybody else.
It was-
Not these celebrities that I'm in
well,
space with now.
That's why it's amazing. I
We,
mean,
we do have to, all the video, we do have to
Yeah.
have them review in case there's any, something they'd like, oh, that shouldn't be on there.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but other than that,
We produce a lot of YouTube content and all that kind of stuff, and
yeah,
so we get
it was,
it. You know?
So anyway, my
Yeah.
wife bailed because we weren't sure which day we were going to do the Toledo, and it's getting kind of crowded. You know, by the way, we did the Black Hills first. The guys out there were fantastic, took us all around. And then we stopped into Chicagoland. I had a wedding. My nephew got married. He disappeared. And then, my wife was like, gonna come to Bantam, and then she was gonna fly back to Chicago because we have a daughter that lives there.
Yes.
And then the Toledo thing happened. And then she found out we were gonna drive through the night because we're like, I don't know where to stay in Toledo, and I'm not leaving the truck out with the
Right.
trailer, right? So, so he and I are like, we're just gonna stay at a truck stop like 2 miles away. and sleep,
Absolutely.
right? And like, she's on, I'm out. I am not driving through the night, going to the factory, and then head to Bantam.
to
Right.
sleep in the truck.
To sleep in the
Yeah,
truck
yeah, she's
as well.
like, that was
She's
one
right.
too many things for her.
Right.
And we've been teasing her because originally we had a big trailer all set up for here. We're going to be because she don't want to camp no more.
Right.
And then we canceled that, and then we're like, they had a really big like microburst rainstorm problem, and it was real rough for us. And we keep teasing her, and she goes, "Yeah, just rub it in, right?" So anyway,
that microburst was real,
it was
man.
bad.
That was
Here, you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It tore all these things up. Anyway,
Yep.
so then it's like we got to somehow rejoin with her, and we got to get to northern Wisconsin, right? And
Right,
then
it's a family event.
we have a lot of listeners in Michigan. We've had them for years, especially
So-
out
it's
of Grand
unbelievable.
Rapids. Is like there's a ton of them, right?
It's funny.
Sure.
And so they're like, you guys got to go to Drummond Island. And we're like, all right, we'll go to Drummond Island, and you got to go to Silver Lake Sand Dunes, right?
Yeah, like he's saying, a lot of this trip was people telling us,
Yeah.
hey, you guys are nearby, you got to go see this.
Yeah,
Hey,
this is
we'll
gonna be
show
the
you around
experience.
over here. Come visit us here. Like every stop along the way was somebody telling us, you got to come check out my part of town.
That's so cool.
And it's just been incredible. And then, so then we get over to Missouri, and then we come through.
Oh, no, we're going to we're going up to Michigan.
Yeah.
We pick up
It's
my
finished.
wife. His wife's flying into Chicago, and his daughter.
Okay.
My daughter's bringing them over. We're intercepting them in South Bend at the Pilot truck stop. They're joining us.
Perfect.
We're going up to Michigan, right? We have a place to put the tow rig because one of our listeners has a house, second house in Mears. I got a big driveway. You can just park it there while we'll go wheel.
Yeah.
And everybody's going up to Drummond with us. Then we're going to go to northern Wisconsin, do the 4th of July. We're in 2 parades because my niece is head of Chamber of Commerce up there. So,
Okay.
we got to throw candy to the kids. And then there'll be a big party, Gary. You're going to have a good time. They have 12 acres,
Cool.
400 feet of lakefront, 4 piers. It's
Wow.
Northwoods, it's kind of
Yeah.
a wild,
Yeah.
good time. Then we got a lot of listeners in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And they got us all set up at the Iron Range. So we're going up all the way north.
Right.
And then we got folks down in Missouri. They were complaining we should see them. So then we put the Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch on. And then we're like, it's probably time to go home.
Been away for a
It's
little
probably
while.
time to go home.
So we're like, we kind of missed some things in Colorado.
He goes, it's time to go home, but first,
But first,
we must stop through Colorado. So we got-
Colorado's
of
on
course.
the way, and we're like, we did Colorado back in 2018, and he was pissed that we didn't do Carnage Canyon. So we're like,
okay.
the wives were not into the Carnage Canyon scene, and we're like, we're going back, and so now we got all these folks in Colorado all lined up. We're doing
That's awesome.
4 days out of the Buena Vista area and 2
Okay.
days out of Montrose, and then he decided to move during this whole planning
I
episode.
was gonna say I knew that was happening in the background. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but
Yeah. Well, the move was going to happen. It just so happened that they all coincided together.
yes,
So I'm between homes right now. I guess that technically means I'm homeless.
You are homeless.
I'm homeless.
And,
it happens.
so anyway,
time to
we're
time.
going to, originally we were going to end the tour up, go up through the Morrison Jeep Trail and kind of
Mhm.
head back for Seattle.
Sure.
But now that he's going to live in St. George, we had to make a detour. So we're going to end the wheeling's going to end at Sand Hollow.
Okay.
A lot of people are probably familiar with.
Yep.
And then we're going to drop his Jeep off. So I should charge him for 7,800 miles.
Look, the plan all
To reach his
along
house.
was I'm scratching my head going like, how am I going to get my Jeep from Washington to St. George?
Sure.
And somehow I'm like, well, maybe I got to just put it on a trailer for 9,000 miles in order to get it. So
It's only 7,800 to your house.
okay,
there.
7,800.
7,800.
So it took a
I
long
got
way.
1,200 to get mine back home. But, so the trip is 9,000 tow miles.
Okay.
These diesel prices are not
Not helpful.
they're not helpful.
helpful
No.
at all. Goddamn.
So we burned a lot of money so far in fuel, and got a lot more to spend. And
You just got to keep repeating the smiles per gallon.
Yeah,
versus miles per gallon,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
when we're in Jeep, it is. But hold on, I gotta go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
Remember how he said? Remember how you asked succinct?
Yes.
Well, this is how we end up with hour-long episodes, right? Because he said succinct, and we're 18 minutes and 23 seconds into a succinct description of our trip.
he asked about a 60-day trip.
I think succinct may have meant 60 seconds.
That's-
And, 18 minutes and 43 seconds now, Gary. Here we are. We're deep into this episode. This is how we get hour-long
We
content.
just could have done a complete hour long. I was thinking we'd just do a short interview with you guys.
He knows, though.
Oh my
He
god.
knows.
If you
Here
know
we
from
are.
listening to us, you know, like,
That's the reality
once
of
we
the
start
situation.
talking, we just don't
We
stop.
can't
It's the
So,
reality.
okay, he has a
I
question.
have
for you.
questions
all right,
for you,
go ahead.
but I'm not sure what to ask because I'm trying to gauge the responses that I
Yeah,
will get.
I'm gonna
Whatever
let
it
him
is,
respond.
none will be short. I can tell you that.
I know. I want to. So we're towing. Both vehicles are towed,
Yep.
and then wheel. So because we're mechanically minded, and a lot of our listeners are as well. What's your tow rig?
It's a Ram 3500 Cummins.
Okay. What year? Curious.
It's a 2014.
2014. Okay.
It's
So
a single rear-wheel drive.
Okay.
My wife, when I went to buy it, said D was for divorce and Dooley.
oh, she doesn't like the big
now
bottom
she'll let
truck.
me get one, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, no, we got it all tricked out. We figured out, we got the method. I forget what wheels. They're the 4,500 pound wheels.
Okay.
That you have out now, because one of your problems is wheel strength.
Wheel strength, absolutely.
Right. So we've got some methods. If anybody needs some heavy duty wheels, these are awesome for your truck.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
done several episodes about it. If you search our catalog,
Sure.
you know, tow rig, stuff like that. You know, we've talked about all the pros and cons of, you know, building up a tow rig, because there's absolute challenges, and you know, people sometimes just say, oh, yeah, I'm gonna throw a hitch on the back and
Sure.
throw a trailer on, and man, that's a quick way to get into trouble.
Absolutely.
You know, you might be able to pull it, but can you keep it straight? You might be able to pull it, but can you stop it?
Yep.
You know, is it gonna sway all over the place? You know, weight distributing hitches. So we got shows that we've talked all about that stuff.
So what's your trailer?
We have a Texas Pride gooseneck 40-footer.
40-footer.
Yep.
And then.
And get this, we did dual axles on it,
Okay.
single wheel.
Okay.
Right. So again, like, we had choices there. We could have done 2 dualies.
Mm-hmm.
We could have done triple axle.
Yep.
In order to get the weight that we wanted, but we found some place that actually put 2 single wheel at a 9,000 pound rated axle.
So
they're-
6,000 pound wheel and tire combos on there.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So when you're
So-
talking about putting that weight in, like, you got to figure out, like, you know, strength. And so this is overbuilt for what we're using it
Sure.
for, and that's what you want to look for. Like, on whether you're building your Jeep, whether you're building your tow rig, you got to build it for over what you're looking to do.
Absolutely. And then your Jeep is.
My Jeep's a 2010 Wrangler. It started off as that. I guess it's still under the cover. Still is. I don't know, but over the years, you know, I've just been you keep building. You know how it is with Jeeps.
Oh, yeah.
You just keep building it up, and you know, I was building trail rigs, and I just loved it as a trail rig. But I love driving fast, and then I'm like, hey, there's this King of the Hammers thing. Let's go build a race
Right.
car.
Which you
And-
talk all about all of this in your. For those of you know who might not be familiar, you guys do talk about all this, and they can go find it in your library of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we have a bunch of stuff to talk about, like all of the race-specific mods that I had to make.
Yeah.
And it's a ton of fun, man. We've had it out here at different events, and you know, everywhere we go, people, I'm just like, hey, here's the keys, jump on in.
Yep.
And they jump in, they start it up, and they rev the engine, and it's just a
That's
blast.
not stock no more.
No, it's got an LS3 in it,
Yep.
450 horsepower, and I mean, it's
cool.
it's a race Jeep, man.
That's
It's
cool.
a ton of fun.
Absolutely. And Gary's.
I got 2010. I bought mine. They're both black. They both Rubicon.
Yep.
To start. And he thought that my daughter was driving his a week later because our daughters are friends.
Uh-huh.
And then he had to open his garage because my daughter's like, what? I'm in trouble. No, it's my dad's. He just got it. And
Oh, geez.
Gary opens his door and goes, oh my God, mine's in there. And then so he calls me and goes, what's your first mod? I'm like,
And that's
I don't
how it
know.
starts.
I got a Rubicon. I don't
And
need
that's
to
how
mod
it
it.
stops.
No,
It
the
starts-
first thing he told me, he's like, oh, I might go up to 33s. And I'm like, Gary, you already got 32 and a half. Like,
The half inch, man. Half inch matters. It's the size. It matters.
So his wife up front was not very happy with me.
Oh, boy.
Because you know,
You're already upselling him.
yeah.
No, then I, it was accidental. I took her on a trip to Canyonlands Park. We wanted to go, and the Jeep was overloaded, and we were on the bump stops. It was a horrible experience.
Okay.
And So it turns out that right before that, my older daughter was finishing her senior year at Chapman University, and we were down for her big senior recital. And I went over to Off-Road Evolution.
Okay.
This is not a safe place to go when you're a Jeeper.
It's not a safe place to go.
And so I went there and I saw these cool sliders, and I talked to Mel, and I said, "Oh man, I got to come back down in May because I got to, we got to do a graduation. I'm going to take her home." And I said, "Well, if you guys weld those on if I'm down here, right?" Because I didn't know how to weld back then, And so he's like, yeah. My wife's walking around and she sees the coil, the glue.
Oh.
And she's like, "What are these?" And Lisa said, "Those are the best. Your ass don't hurt on a long day." And now I'm in the middle of Canyonlands Park, and all I hear is, "I want those blue coilovers." And I go, "They're kind of expensive, and I don't care."
She doesn't care.
And I'm like, fast as I could get on the phone, man. When I was back in the
Nice.
So anyway,
Nice.
mine went on to Evo Long Arm and King coilovers. And
Okay.
grew over all the years. I don't have an LS3 yet. I'd like one.
That's fine, but it sounds like it's
he's gonna get one. He's
okay.
gonna get one.
Sounds like it's a pretty capable rig, regardless of
She's
it.
built up. I mean, I don't know. I've been on 40s since 2014.
And what are you guys' axles? Still the Rubicons?
I
or?
run Pro Rock, Dynatrack Pro Rock 60 front and rear.
Okay.
He went bigger.
Well, because everything he does, I just got it. It's an arms race.
That's right.
He was bigger than me for so long. I got Dynatrack 6080s.
Okay. Very cool. God, I love it. And the last thing, because succinctness and what's the brick?
This brick. So like you heard, we've been extremely fortunate this trip. Listeners reaching out, giving us inside tracks on different locations. We got to go to the Jeep factory and just an unbelievable experience. We go over to the original Bantam Jeep factory.
Absolutely.
And we're checking things out there. It's all closed off now.
Yep.
You can't walk over to there. The security guard out there and everything, shooing people away.
Sure.
We got as close as we could, trying to get some video from the outside. We found out who the owners were.
Yes.
Of who owns the land. We gave them a call and kind of explained what we were doing. Said, hey, we're going across the country doing a Jeep trip, and we want to have like a whole episode geared around Jeep from the start. So we wanted some footage at Bantam. We got some footage at the old Willis plant. Well, it's all that's left there now is the smokestack.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a bunch of footage from to now.
Sure.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's too dangerous in there. We got demo guys in there. It's all busted up. And then last night got a call, and he's like, hey, we figured out a way to get you guys in.
Oh man, that's
and
awesome.
I said, we'll be there. And so this morning we went there, and we're taking a bunch of footage. And one of the two brothers who owns the property offered and said, hey, why don't you take a brick? And so here it is right here.
That is official.
We got a brick from the Bantam Jeep factory.
Yes.
Like right here.
That's cool.
In my hands.
That's very cool.
This is one of them. Now we're gonna help them out. They got some plans for the building. Their hope is, they would love to save it.
Sure.
But there just isn't an economic way to save it, really.
Sure.
Like somebody's got to come in and say, I want to save it as
like a charitable.
Right. I want to keep it. I want to keep it for the community.
Sure.
And they might still be open to working with somebody to do that, but chances are at this point, it's going to come down.
Yeah.
Progress happens.
Sure.
Progress happens, and we got to accept it. I tried to talk him into keeping the smokestack though.
Sure.
I thought
I partially haven't talked to him. I said, get Butler to give you a price break here, man, on your taxes.
yeah.
Okay.
The wheels were spinning.
Yeah.
So they were thinking about it. We explained what the Willis factory did, how the Willis still has their smokestack there, and it's
Sure.
a really nice area. People go and take pictures outside of it, and there's a plaque. And I don't know, I did my best pitch, so we'll see how
Sure.
it goes. But
Maybe they can do
maybe
something.
other people can try to get a hold of them and try to get them to at least save the smokestack, because it's small, right? Like it doesn't take up a large footprint. You can still build other industrial buildings around it and stuff, and still let there be some sort of public access into that area.
That's cool.
How many acres did he say total was? Do you remember?
27.
27 acres. Yeah, so 27 acres of land there, and so we're extremely fortunate that we got a piece of history here.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
you want to touch it?
Loaded question.
I don't offer that to very many people. We'll do that off camera.
Okay, off
We'll
camera.
do that.
That's off camera. All right. So for those the last little piece, who might not already be familiar, do you want to do a quick plug as far as how they can access, if that's something?
Yeah, we're the Northwest Jeepcast. We are everywhere podcasts can be found. We like to say we are the Jeep podcast, even though we know there are others out there.
That's all right.
You guys do a great job too, and there are others as you all know.
Yep.
And we have a ton of fun. We're genuine. We're authentic. We don't overproduce our show. It's just kind of like as it is, and it's fun, man. We've always thought about our show as a way to give back to the community, and building a Jeep community, and it's really turned out like that. I mean, our fans come and talk to us. We love the emails that we get. I mean, just the interactions, whether it's emails or Instagram posts or DMs, like whatever, like we interact with everybody over all of the channels. And so, yeah, find us, our website is nwjeepcast.com. Search for Northwest Jeepcast everywhere podcasts are found, and you'll find us.
Awesome. I really appreciate you guys taking time.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah,
we
for
appreciate
sure, guys.
you.
Thank you.
All right.